It's a work in progress still, so maybe they might change the look of the UI. At least according to IGN. This could be a good game, not gonna lie, it really could. I do think the UI needs a lot of work. I felt like so this was 7 months ago. Oh, this is part of the Stray series? Interesting. Is it? Almost doesn't really make sense, but I've never played Stray, so maybe it is. But the UI definitely needs some work. Here's a video. Okay, Hi-Fi Rush. Oh, this one I've definitely seen before. The style of the game looks really nice, so I hope it.
The last thing I expected from developer Tango Gameworks was a vibrant, fun-loving action game with the heart of a cartoon I would have absolutely loved. The studio is primarily known for the dark and creepy likes of The Evil Within or Ghostwire Tokyo, but Hi-Fi Rush is instead filled with a joyous, youthful personality seen in its stunning animation, art style, and characters. And while the surprising change of pace is already refreshing, Tango's greatest accomplishment is in how it expertly executes on the singular concept that permeates Hi-Fi Rush's design. It's that rhythm is everything. Nearly every element of Hi-Fi Rush's world is impressively tied to the rhythm of its alternative rock soundtrack.
Okay.
That's because the protagonist Chai had a surgical mishap which left his iPod stuck in his chest. This makes him a target as he's labeled a defect by the evil robotics megacorp Vandalay Industries. But now he can see and feel the pulse of his music coursing through the vivid, industrialized world around him. And that's his greatest weapon. This playful setup sets a strong tone, and things only get better from there as Hi-Fi Rush layers on a fantastic crew of allies, charismatic villains, bombastic fights, effortless humor, poignant satire of our tech dystopia, and some genuinely warm moments.
Chai, that was beautiful, mate.
From so many angles, Hi-Fi Rush is able to showcase its uniquely charming spirit.
It's me, Peppermint. Come on.
At its best, combat creates a harmonious flow where music is your guide every step of the way. Chai always executes his attacks on the beat regardless of your own input timing, but keeping in rhythm with the BGM's BPM rewards you with extra damage rather than punishing any missed notes. While Hi-Fi Rush uses a similar foundation as Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, the constant tie to the music results in a type of satisfaction I just don't get from other stylish action games. This rhythmic system leaves no ambiguity in combo timing and paces itself in a way that allows room to consider each follow-up move, whether it be extending combos, air juggling, dodging, parrying, closing the gap, or calling in a partner attack. Every enemy's attack pattern also plays by the same rules, letting me confidently avoid telegraphed attacks and approach them like a dancing rhythm game. Sometimes that inspiration becomes more explicit. Tougher foes and some bosses break into brief rhythmic minigames that require a sequence of parries to counter their last-ditch efforts. And the reward? Delivering a flashy final blow. The rhythm game Die Hard in me got hyped every single time I had to do this, and getting perfect strings of parries left me nodding in satisfaction. Enemies gradually evolve in complexity, and things get chaotically fun in encounters that mix and match enemy types, so I never felt like I was simply hammering away to a basic 4-4 time signature. That said, the targeting system could occasionally put me in a precarious position. Since there's no manual lock-on, I'd sometimes hook onto or gravitate towards enemies I didn't intend to target, leaving me vulnerable. It works well enough for most fights, and with all the tools at my disposal, I could overcome any brief moments of frustration by changing my approach.
Yeah.
Because music is the driving force behind its design,
Music really
anything
needs
that
to be
syncs
pretty
to
good.
The beat through audio cues is also represented with distinct visual cues. You can also activate an on-screen metronome at any point to help keep time more explicitly, so those who may struggle with rhythm games or need assistance with the audio do have some options here. Platforming and puzzle sections between the staged combat encounters operate on the same principles. Platforms and key objects retract and move to the beat, making it impossible for Hi-Fi Rush to feel like it's pulling any cheap tricks. Nailing the timing is about seeing the environment as an extension of the music, although movement is a bit sticky for these sections and doesn't quite match the fluidity I'd expect. The consequences for mistakes aren't dire, but it's still a noticeable inconvenience, albeit a minor one.
Yeah, that
That's
movement
suspicious.
did not look that.
Now, the closer you
Clean.
look at Hi-Fi Rush's world, the more you see how deep the rhythmic ethos
We'll
runs.
have to see, I
Chai's
guess.
footsteps, his snapping idle animation, Allies' bounciness when called forth, the trees and rocks bobbing in the environment, even building infrastructure all move to the groove. No matter where you turn, someone or something is jamming out to the same song as you. That attention to detail instills a lively sense of momentum around every corner.
Okay.
While the fusion of rhythm and action is outstanding, what makes Hi-Fi Rush truly memorable is its charismatic crew. Chai's cool enough as the goofy, irreverent everyman, but it's the supporting